Evening all. Today we've got ourselves a 1979 bobber in for some repairs. This is a recent eBay purchase, and there's some issues with the engine. It originally started off with the I believe the seller said that he had kickstart issues, which has turned into a few more issues. So while it's still a bit overcast, I'm going to whip the engine out and start the engine strip down so that I don't have to do it in the rain during the week. And there's some obvious bits that are wrong. That bolt in there shouldn't be in there. That's not a proper clutch adjuster. Carl, who owns the bike, sent me a picture of the inside of the casing and showed me the oil pump, which was cracked. So no doubt the bottom strainer has split and sucked some debris up the passageway into the oil pump, which has destroyed that. So we need to replace all the oil pump and stuff as well. And there's various different nuts and things that all need sorting out. So let's just get this engine out, really. Make a start on it. Make some space in the garage so I can put the tank somewhere without having to worry about that. Right. You can see in there, that is the kickstart issue, this cog on the main shaft here. All the teeth are worn off of that. And now I would expect that all the teeth have gone down into the casing itself, get sucked up through the oil strainer along the oil ways and into the oil pump, which broke the oil pump. That's probably what happened to that, I'd expect. Clutch and everything looks alright. Right, still dismantling this. I've took the cap off the cam chain adjuster, and I thought that was screwed in a bit far. There's not a lot of thread left on that for the cap, but even so, the adjuster is still a good 1/8 of an inch inside that tube there. So I dread to think what's going on inside the inside that with the cam chain adjuster tensioner. But that looks scary to me. Something like that, I'd say that the tensioner inside is completely shot, and maybe not doing anything at all. So that's something else to have a look at when we take it apart, to be aware of. Right, let's keep going. Well, we've got the engine out, and what we're going to do now, so we got the engine out in the end, and a couple of things that I did notice when I was getting it out is the lack of thread on this, and the plunger is quite deep inside for the cam chain tensioner. So either they've added this nut, because the early models didn't have this nut, so they might have added this nut, which will give you a bit more thread. But hopefully that's what they've done on this one. So you might tensioner might be right, otherwise the tensioner is pretty, or the guide, cam chain guide inside is probably knackered. And also there's no thread left in the tappet cover hole there, so that will need helicoiling, but it'll be a difficult job on that one because it's a blind hole, so you can do the best we can on that. Might have to go all the way through and then just use a gasket on this side with a copper washer on that one bolt, on that one nut. But I mean, it's fixable. So let's start stripping it down a little bit and seeing what we got inside. Wrong plugs. The old camshaft is good, nothing wrong with that. Oh, easy. Right, somebody's just added this nut to the tensioner. Copper washer's missing. Don't know when the camera cut out, but taking all the clutch plates out, taking the push rods and the push rod plunger out. So just going to put that up on the bench now and then carry on with it. Look at he's done here, look, fucking smashed into them. I bet I can't get a socket on there now. Thruster plate, thruster bearing. had it down there. Right, here's a classic example of not being careful and looking what you're doing. Can you see the big print there of that washer where that's gone off centre while he's tightened it up? So that bearing would have been doing nothing, absolutely nothing, and you've got the print of it that goes all the way over, and it's actually squashed that roller there, completely squashed it, so that would be fixed in that position. That wouldn't have even been spinning around on there. What's happened is when before it's done that, before he's tightened it up, that's central, but it's dropped off. Now let me get a fucking screwdriver. Before he's tightened it up, it's dropped off and moved over like that. I hope you can see that. Turn a bit of fucking light, bit of lights. So that actual bearing is not sitting central on the spindle. So when he's tightened that up, that's where that bearing stays. So it's not actually working. So that's pretty much. You can see there's a big imprint there of that. It's literally crushed that roller there. So that's rubbish. It must have been. Gears must have felt a bit strange. Clutch must have felt a bit strange. I'll show you what's a bit in there. So we need a new. We need to put a new thrust bearing in there. Right. Let's come. Should be this and the washer there. There's a nut missing there. Those crankcases together. The chain guard's missing. Not vital, but if you're going to take that out, at least put the nut back in where where it's supposed to go. That's that. Need to let washer off. No, wasn't even done up tight enough. Leave another bag for the bits. No thread lock in there either. Is that oil strainer? What's it going to look like is what I want to know. I reckon it's got a hole in it. It's got to have a hole in it. And that, boys and girls, is what's caused all the problems. That hole there has sucked up all kinds of debris and sucked it right into the oil pump. You can see that hole, nasty hole. There. Common fault with these. Just take the camera off a second. I just want to show you something which is a bit concerning. Under the black paint there's an awful lot of silicone here. Oops. You can see it, there's tons of it, and it's quite thick there, so I don't know why that silicone is there unless underneath I can't see properly, but I'm gonna have to scrape all that off to find out what's underneath there, whether there's a crack in the casing or what. But that doesn't look good. Looks like, to me it looks like there's a bolt broken off in there, so that might be why that he's had loads of silicone there. So you're going to have to take that off and have a look. So it might have to be a bit of a job to get that bolt out. And there's glue under there as well. So he's obviously tried to fix a hole of some kind there, look. Alright, so there's the bottom of the casing. This hole here was filled up with silicone sealant. There wasn't a bolt broken in there, that was a silicone that was in the hole. This M6 thread is no longer there, basically. So that will need to be filled up with weld and drilled and helicoiled for an M6 bolt to go in there. Fortunately, it's not cracked on the other side, it's only this side which is cracked, but the other side's alright. Yeah, it's a shame that needs filling up. So I don't know how they've managed to do that. Never seen that before. So that's something that needs addressing before we put it back together. So I'm going to have to take it up to my mate in Biggleswade to get him to fill that up. It's a shame. Right, carry on. Off we go. Look at that. Nasty, eh? Just quickly, just noticed something else on this bottom half of the crankcase is the holes that hold the threads that hold the starter motor on. Let's see. It's cracked. It's cracked across there, and that one's cracked across there. So front two alright. These two need looking at as well. So when I get the L looked at on Monday, I take it up there Monday, I'll get him to look at these as well. With them two being cracked, I can only presume that he's hit something underneath. Has hit the starter motor, like he's gone down a curb or something with the when he's been riding a bobber, maybe gone down the curb and clouted the starter motor on the curb, which has done this. So I don't know if he'll be able to do anything with that, but he might just be able to weld that and clean it up, so he can still use them bolts. But this, yes, it's definitely buggered there. So until then, and that'll do for this one, and I'll probably carry on with it Wednesday or Thursday maybe, depending if I want to get this back, but well, got to get it fixed anyway. So right, I'll catch you then, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.